Oh, somebody ought to come on here. We need men that can recognize the importance of having a woman who is intelligent, a woman who is strong, a woman who is virtuous, and not be intimidated by a good woman, but recognize that a good woman is in fact a helpmate. Ain't no need in you fighting a woman because she's good. Brother, hook up with the woman. You two can be stronger together, but when we compete against one another. Let's notice Deuteronomy 1 and verse number 9. Notice what the word said. Moses said, and I spoke to you at that time saying, this is Moses saying what he spoke to Israel. I alone am not able to bear you. He's gotten to a point to where the burden of being the father, being the leader, being the pastor, or the shepherd for the people has become, if you will, a load upon him. Notice Moses recognized that his responsibility is great, but he don't want God to stop blessing the people. He don't want God to stop multiplying the people. He wants God's blessings to continue to be upon the people. He recognizes that they need to be a progressive people, but that he needs some help. In verse 12, he said, how can I alone bear your problems? See, because one thing that a leader has to do is bear the problems of the people. Has to be able to handle the problems. But notice, he had to get help, according to verse 15, from men who were wise and what? Knowledgeable. And on this Father's Day, I want to teach you from the subject, wise and knowledgeable men. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, our subject this morning, wise and knowledgeable men. I want to say up front that in my opinion is based upon Scripture. My opinion is one that is biblically based. Men are important, and they always will be. I said men are important, and they always will be. Men were important when it came to God's family, as well as the family in general, thousands of years ago. And men are yet still important in the church of today, as well as in the family of today. And we have to recognize that, because there are those who would try through trickery and through scheming and through cunning ways to downplay the importance of a real man. But again, I submit to you that biblically speaking, when you look at the Bible and what the Bible teaches, not only from the Old Testament, but throughout the New Testament, you will come away with a thought, if you will, that God from the beginning intended for man to have his rightful place within the family, his family as well as our families or the household. And he has never deviated from that plan. Because when you begin to look at man, you have to come away with the conclusion that when God created man, he created man to be a blessing. He created man to the point to where the way that he created man, he positioned man to be able to be a blessing, number one, to the woman, but then he also created man to be a blessing to children or to young people. And even when I think back and look at the life of Jesus, he was 100% God, but Jesus here on earth also represented to us a good pattern, if you will, for godly men to follow. And whenever you look at the life of Jesus, you can see through his life that as a man, he was a blessing to everyone that he came into contact with. But he felt it necessary to make his mark on the life of children. And I submit to our church that we need more godly men to rise up and be true men who can speak into children's lives, who live in such a way that they can be a blessing to a young person, that they can speak a blessing over a young person because they in fact are a blessing because of the way that they live. We need more men in our families who can lay their hands upon young boys and decree their destiny and decree their purpose in them, so that when the enemy comes to steal, kill, and to destroy, there's a father's blessing that has been bestowed upon a child. There's a father's blessing that has been bestowed upon a young girl, so that as she up through life, it's going to make it difficult for young men to just fool her with kind words or with deceptive words, because a father has spoken his blessings over a young girl and has told her that she's beautiful to him and that she's beautiful in the sight of God. And so there is no need for her to pimp her body out to a boy because he says she's pretty. My daddy told me I was pretty. My daddy told me I was knowledgeable. My daddy told me that I'm going somewhere. My daddy is here to protect me. My daddy is here to speak good things. And the reason some men are quiet is because when it comes to speaking a blessing, men are absent when it comes to that. Men are often quiet. But then when we look at how Jesus dealt with women, you have to admire how he dealt with women. You have to admire how he never overlooked the woman. He never looked at the woman as if she was beneath him, but he recognized the importance in women. Oh, somebody ought to come on here. We need men that can recognize the importance of having a woman who is intelligent, a woman who is strong, a woman who is virtuous, and not be intimidated by a good woman, but recognize that a good woman is in fact a helpmate. Ain't no need in you fighting a woman because she's good. Brother, hook up with the woman. You two can be stronger together. But when we compete against one another, you know, some men fear good women. They are intimidated if a woman seems to be smarter about a particular subject than they are. Oh, yeah, brothers, y'all might well loosen up them ties this morning. Some men will get irate at the fact that a woman was right about something and will stand their ground, declaring how they are the head and she needs to line up, but not on this one, bruh, man. You just wrong as wrong can be, and you need to listen to Sarah. You need to listen to the woman. It takes a strong man to hear when a woman is right about something. Listen, and not just hear it, but make an adjustment based upon what she tells him. I'm not saying my wife is always right, but there have been a time or two that it wasn't nobody but God using her to tell me, you shouldn't do this. You should pray longer about that. And that became a strength to me. Because sometime in a marriage, especially if you hold a position on the job or a great position within the church, people are always running up you telling you how great you are and how wonderful you are and that your decisions are just right. Oh, God, you know, brother, sometimes we get with our yes boys. You know, the boys that ain't going to correct us, the boys that always don't agree with us, that's going to agree with our foolishness. But a good woman won't stand for foolishness. She wants the man to get it right. Yes, you are the head, but I want my head right. I will follow you, but where are we going? I will listen to you, but what are you saying? I'll take your advice, but is your advice right? Or are you just talking just to be heard? Even when it came to his resurrection, Jesus' disciples, which were men, doubted him and feared what the Jews would do to him and were afraid to even come to the gravesite. But guess who was at that grave, not fearing what nobody would do? A group of bold women showed up and said, where is he at? Where did you lay him? Therefore, the first resurrection message that was ever preached was preached by a woman. It was not preached by a man. Jesus told a woman, go tell my disciple that I have risen and I'll meet them in Galilee. And so a woman went back preaching, he'll meet you in Galilee. Because he was not intimidated by what women brought to the table. Y'all know I'll teach it right. There are some women that's just better dealing with money than some men are. And so the best thing some men could ever do until they grow up is to let that woman handle the money so that things will get paid on time. I remember when I worked a natural job, how men would pick at men on payday. If they had to keep running to the guardhouse or keep running up there to the front office. Did y'all catch that on payday? That mean a woman was up there ready to get the check, and the man would take the check as soon as the supervisor handed out, and he'd run it up there to the woman. And you always had a couple of men that would stand back and say, man, look at old henpecked. You got to take that check up there. He know to get that check up there. But what needed to be said to some of them, you need to take your check up there. So you can have a car because you almost 50 and you still walking and hitchhiking a ride to work. You need to get your money. So don't downplay the importance of women. When you think about how Jesus dealt with the woman at the well, Jesus thought it was important that he go out of his way to meet one woman who in her past life was a whore, but he wasn't there to take advantage of her. He respected women. He was there to change the woman's life. When are we going to have men who stop trying to take advantage of silly, immature women and get in a place to be a help to women, not looking to take advantage of folk? You got some men, that's all they do is bounce from one broke woman, one disgusted woman, one woman with low self-esteem. They just look for women to prey on. Come on, somebody. And for a long time, that's all I did was just try to get in women's head, just try to fool, just try to mess with them, figure out what they want to hear. Other folk overlooked them. They ain't never told them they pretty. They ain't never told them they beautiful. So I had to come up with something to try to get this woman to see how beautiful she is. Even if I really didn't see it, I just wanted something. So if I got to tell you, yo. But when I became mature, I recognized as a man, I have a responsibility not to get over on women, but to be a blessing to women. To cross the path of a woman who is like this and not try to take advantage of her brokenness, but try to say something that will heal this woman, that will help this woman in distress. That's what Jesus did at the well. He told the woman, if you had this water that I could give you, you would never thirst again. Read the text. Throughout the whole time the woman was trying to hit on Jesus. She said, have you come here for this water? Y'all know how y'all women can do it. She wasn't up there just looking all dry and thirsty. She was up there like, you want some of this water? But Jesus didn't fall into that trap. He knew the woman was broken. He started telling that woman everything about herself. And in the end, she ran back to a village, became another preacher, and said, come see a man. He turned a whore into a preacher. Come see a man who told me everything about myself. Come see a man that healed me.